この曲を作った人は天才だなと思って、こちらこそ藤田さんのおかげでドンキーコングの曲が作れたのではないかと思います。
私の一番好きな曲のミュージシャンがデビッド・ワイズなので、そのコラボをする曲っていうのはもう何よりも一番緊張する、プレッシャーになる曲で、もうずっと悩んで作って、ドンキーコング聴いて最初作った曲は息子にボツにされたのでもう一回作り直して、私がドンキーコングを作るとしたらこんな曲でありながらも、デビッド・ワイズが作ってもこんな曲になるんじゃないかというところに寄せて作りました。
Okay, well, so first of all, thank you very much, too kind. There's also completely nailed the track, as in, completely got it right, the brief, so thank you, and yeah, good job. One, I have no idea. So, two would be the fact that when the 16-bit Super NES or Super Nintendo is the fact that it was hard to put other tracks in there, so you couldn't just put an MP3 on like you could on an Xbox. So there was no choice but to listen to my music whilst you were playing the game. So I think subconsciously it probably went in. So three, I suppose it's the fact that I'd been working on the 8-bit system, and it was really hard, the 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System. And so when I got 8 channels and I could use samples, it was like, hallelujah. It was, it was freedom. So that kind of creative the frustration that I'd been keeping up was unleashed onto Donkey Kong. And there's another side to this. I'll just go through it and you can explain it. But when I was working at Rare, I was on the 8-bit system. I mean, I'd just been literally plucked off the street from a music shop, and they put me in front of a computer, and I was coding and stuff. I hadn't got a clue what I was doing. And our boss Tim, he'd come in and he'd have these amazing tracks from Mega Man, from Harumi and Shimomura, and all of these tracks, and Kenji Yamamoto, the tracks that they were doing on the 8-bit system, and he'd play them to me, and I think, well, how have they done that? That's genius, because my work didn't compare at the time, so it was like this big huge learning curve of how have people done this amazing music, and how do I even compete to get something anywhere near as good. So it was these amazing Japanese composers like Harumi that really inspired me to do much better. And that's a literal story, that's not made up. That they came, Tim came in with these amazing tracks, and I was like, oh my word, how do we go about making my work better? So it was a very informative time, because I was early 20s at the time. So it was it was a huge learning curve. And so for that reason, it's so nice to meet the people who were my heroes at the time, because I had no idea who was making this amazing music, but I do now.
私も言っときたいことがあるんですが
どうぞ。
私が、だから息子が5歳の時にスーパードンキーコングのゲームをやってて、曲があまりにすごくてすごい感動して、とにかくこれは誰が作ったのかを知りたくってエンディングまで行ったんです。頑張って。でエンディングでデビッド・ワイズの名前が出てきて、海外の人かと思って、もうこの人には逆にかなわないなって、これと同じような曲を私が作るのはとても難しい、とにかくすごい人だと思ってずっと思い続けてて、マグフェスタで会うってなった時にもう最高に嬉しかったのを覚えてます。
Well, thank you, but yeah, it's totally in the style, in the pocket. Mm-hmm. I mean, the other thing as well, Alex, is that I don't have a big plan when it comes to composing or anything. I still feel as naive and as useless and like somebody in a toy shop just making it up as I go along. So I don't feel as though I'm really a qualified composer. So, but I was speaking to Grant about that as well, and he feels very much the same, that we're just literally making it up as we go along. But then that's the job of a composer, isn't it?
この間下村さんの対談で下村さんとそのこと話して、 一緒やねって言ってたとこだから、デビッド・ワイズも同じなんですね。
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I enjoy it. I love what I do, obviously, because, you know, I like grabbing an instrument and just seeing what it can do and playing around. But fortunately, we get paid to do that. But yeah, it's very much, I still don't feel, but that's probably a good thing to feel, isn't it? That's probably a healthy way to look at it. Still making it up as we go along. Things that I really love are skiing. That's my... that's my sport. I also love cycling as well, so I do a lot of cycling. I've taken up jogging recently, just because sometimes it's a bit dark and it's a bit wet and windy, and I can still jog when it's, because it's very hard on a cycle when it's dark and windy. What else? So the other thing, let me see, other things that inspire me. So the other day I was watching a program on Africa, and it was about how they took organic waste and made it into energy for cooking and for heating if they needed it. And it was this very sustainable project. So those sort of social things where people do things for a community to better everybody else and make everybody else's life more bearable, they're the sort of things that interest me or fascinate me, I suppose. So I like watching things like that because there are some truly amazing people out there. So I feel as a composer, we're in a very privileged position, and sometimes I don't feel I'm as useful as somebody who does community projects. I know it's different because obviously when you're watching, I don't know, people on television or composers, obviously there's that side of things where hopefully we're making people's lives a bit more enjoyable, but then the things that inspire me are people who actually do something that I'd see as more purposeful than just composing music. So I guess that wasn't the answer you were expecting. It's the fact that there's people out there making lives better for a lot of people in any set. They're finding solutions, and it just, I find it inspiring to see people look after each other.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you and Fujita-san are doing things that make people all around the world very happy. So yeah. I think that's wonderful as well.
Yeah, I agree. So.
会えますかね、日本で。
It'd be lovely, yes, likewise. So again, as soon as I know I'm coming, I'll let you know where I am, and if we can check it up, that would be brilliant.
じゃあ決まり次第また連絡します。How would you feel about if you do come to Japan, you come to Osaka, we visit Universal Studios Japan, and you and Fujita-san tour the new Donkey Kong area together?
I would love to see it, so yeah.
いいですね。私も見たいので。So yeah, when you come to Japan, please come to Osaka, and you and Fujita-san can ride the Donkey Kong ride together.
一緒にユニバに行きましょう。
Very kind of you to say. So thank you very much, everybody. Arigato gozaimasu.
ありがとうございました。